Good morning, everyone, and welcome again to our normal fortnightly group client catch-up. And today's topic for discussion is rewarding your team. Every Monday morning I have a meeting with a few coaching colleagues, and one of the topics that we discussed yesterday was bonuses, the pros and cons of having bonuses and commissions and that type of thing in your business. And how else we can reward our team. And the reason it came up is because I've read a book recently called Drive by Daniel Pink, and it talks about understanding what motivates people. So some of the principles that I'm going to go through today is covered by that book. So let's get into it. So as per normal, we'll go through today's training, and then we'll have a session to review that topic and discuss that topic. And I'm really keen to get your feedback and your thoughts about this topic in particular, because I know that there are a lot of my clients don't have any bonus system in place. Others do have bonuses. Those with sales teams definitely have some sort of commission structure, and I think that's fairly normal. So we'll talk about that as well. And then after we have that discussion, we'll go through the normal review of your fortnight, how you're going with your 90-day plan, what projects you're working on, and so on, and if there's any support you need. All right, so let's get into today's topic. So rewarding your team with bonuses and incentives. So just quickly first, there are 4 ways to reward someone or reward your team. The first is recognition, and it's free. So that's obviously something we should all be doing, and we'll talk about that further in a minute. Then there are cash bonuses or commissions. Thirdly, there's possibly time off. So rewarding people with time off instead of cash. And then there are gifts or non-monetary rewards. And I know a few people in this group here do give people gifts. It could be fuel cards. It could be organizing trips away, that type of thing. So they're the 4 key areas that you can reward people. Now, in this book, that's Drive by Daniel Pink, he talks about extrinsic and intrinsic motivators. And these are terms that motivational speakers use. It's not just him, it's fairly common terms. Extrinsic motivators are more of these external things that people strive for. And it's more around things that help them feel better about themselves, but also that they can see external recognition and other people can see it as well. So these are things that are more of a carrot and stick approach. So you might give people, we call them if-then rewards. So if you do this, or if you achieve this, then you'll get that. So they know up front that they will be rewarded for certain performance or certain activities and certain achievements. And the risk, I'll talk about the pros and cons of these. Intrinsic motivators are more around tapping into the person's natural desire to do the right thing. So people who are intrinsically motivated, they don't necessarily need these carrot and stick approaches. It's more about they want to do it for themselves, for the greater good. It's all about these more these different ways to motivate yourself. So whichever way you focus on, whether it's extrinsic or intrinsic, can depend on the person, because some people are more extrinsically motivated than others. For example, we were talking yesterday morning about real estate agents. So that whole industry is very extrinsically motivated. It attracts those sorts of people that are a bit more aggressive. They want to do it because they get the rewards, whether it's a plaque on the wall or whether it's bonuses and commissions. All these people like these external rewards. So it depends on the person. Some people are more motivated with extrinsic rewards. It also depends on the role. So the book really goes into a lot of detail about, if it's a simple process that someone follows, then you can easily motivate them with these extrinsic rewards, because it doesn't involve a lot of creativity. It's really about making sure people stay on track and follow a process and get a certain amount of output, and they get rewarded for that output. Okay, whereas extrinsic motivators can limit people's creativity because they're all about getting things done quickly rather than spending the time thinking about things. Okay. was going to go through this in a bit more detail, just very quickly, just to give you a better idea. Intrinsic, it's all about the enjoyment, the purpose, the growth in yourself, curiosity, passion, and so on. Extrinsic is because you get promotions, pay rises, bonuses, benefits, prizes, winning. It's just all of these other things that can motivate people. So as I said, extrinsic are these if-then rewards. It's normal in sales roles. The question is, should managers get bonuses for achieving? Should the entire team get rewarded for a good year? And it also can backfire because people who believe in these intrinsic motivators think that people are already there to do the right thing, and if you start rewarding them, it can actually train them to want rewards and not want to do things unless they get rewarded. Okay, so there is this potential risk of introducing bonuses could actually eat away at people's natural motivation and get them to start creating this culture of expectation of rewards. Okay. Intrinsic motivators, I've talked about this. It's more about how do you get the most out of people's natural want and desire to do the right thing and to work hard for either their own self-worth or for the greater good of the business and for others. So you've got to create the right environment to encourage that. People need autonomy, they need to grow themselves, and they need a purpose, either their own individual purpose or an understanding of the business's purpose and what it's here to help others achieve. And I do talk about that quite a bit with my clients, and I'm sure I've spoken about that with all of you as well. And this book talks about intrinsic motivation is more like a renewable energy source. You don't have to keep feeding it. It's sort of, it's created internally by someone, whereas extrinsic is more like fossil fuels. You have to keep feeding it, have to keep rewarding people to get them to keep doing things. And when I mean reward, I mean more monetary type reward. Okay, so what's the right combination? Now, I think for most people, for most businesses, you definitely need to have the right environment. So create an environment where people can be autonomous. They've got a bit more direction around how they do their own job, how they manage their time, how they, the sorts of people they can work with. So getting them involved in, when you're bringing on a new team member, they should have a say in that, that type of thing. So getting them involved in the business. Obviously, pay your team fairly. You can't expect them to do the right thing if they don't have at least a good, fair level of pay. So you need to remove that question mark for them that they're being paid fairly or not being paid fairly. Definitely praise and feedback. I mean, it's free and everyone needs that, regardless of whether they're extrinsically or intrinsically motivated. Now, the structured bonuses will depend on you. So it depends on the sort of culture you want to create, what your beliefs are, and that's why I want to have this discussion today. But it can also depend on the person and the role, as I mentioned. Some people are more motivated by money and by those external rewards, and also depends on the sort of role that they have and what sort of tasks they need to perform. And this book by Daniel Pink, he says the best sort of rewards are what he calls now that rewards, instead of if then, which means here up front they know they'll be rewarded if they do certain things. Now that rewards are more rewarding them after the fact. So for example, if you've had a good year and they're not necessarily expecting anything out of it, you can just say, guys, we've had a fantastic year. I really want to share that with you and reward you for all the hard work. And I know a lot of my clients think in that way, and it's sort of an out of the blue reward or bonus that they'll give someone. All right, so that's it from me. I want to have a good discussion around that. So if you guys would like to all unmute yourselves, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts are about this topic. Now, I think most people here don't really have any bonuses. So interestingly enough, everyone on the call here, I don't think has a structured bonus system. One other thing I'd like to just point out is the reason we're looking at or discussing rewards and bonuses, it's all about aligning people's behavior with what the business's goals are. So one of the reasons to have a structured bonus system, and I know I've spoken to this, I've spoken to Keith and to Nick about this, is really getting them clear about what the goals are, what's important in the business. It's all about getting things done on time. It's all about quality. It's and them understanding how these things then flow through to the dollars at the end of the day, and how their activities and the way they work helps the business grow, achieve, and then we can reward everyone a lot more. So that's one of the reasons to have these structured bonus systems. But I'd really like to hear what your thoughts are, because no one really here has a structured bonus plan, I don't think.